A valid energy performance certificate, or EPC, is essential when you buy or rent a home in the UK. Today, I'll explain the EPC system, the current rules, and how they are changing in the next few years. We'll cover the pros and cons of having higher EPCs and how upgrades are done and what they might cost. We'll also cover what it means for property owners. For active landlords, this may end up being a big issue. And we explain why passive investors need not worry. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tariq or Dr. T, and I've been in the property business for almost 50 years. Here's a bit about me. In the 1980s, whilst working as a junior doctor, my hobby was computers, and I co-founded one of the UK's largest PC manufacturers with over 3,000 staff and brands such as Tiny, Opus, and Time Computers. Computer manufacturing moved to China by early 2000s, and during the past 17 years, I've researched and analysed the UK property market and developed a property business for 100% passive investors that is different to traditional agents and property companies. My children and over 100 staff now run this business, but I still help out with strategy, marketing, and client advice. We've appeared on the BBC's main property show over 7 times, bought, renovated, rented out, and resold almost 3,000 low-cost houses, and we continue to look after these for our investor clients. I'm now retired from my part-time NHS work, but I really enjoy helping people with property investment and making videos like this. Before we dive in, if you find today's information useful, please hit the like button. Drop a comment below letting me know what you'd like us to cover next. And make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss future property tips. It really helps the channel and spreads the word. Let's get back to the video now. So what is the EPC rating system? An EPC gives each property a rating from A to G. A is the most efficient, G is the least. It measures things like insulation, heating systems, and energy use, and it estimates running costs and carbon emissions. Every home that's sold, rented, or newly built in the UK needs an EPC, and is valid for 10 years. Right now, all private rented properties in England and Wales must have an EPC rating of E. If your property is rated F or G, you can't legally rent it out unless you have an exemption. The UK government plans to tighten this further. The proposal is that by 2030, all rented homes will need to reach at least EPC Band C. There were earlier talks of bringing this in by 2028 for new tenancies, but consultations now suggest a 2030 target date for all. Right now, about 60% of UK homes are at grade D or lower, and these will need to be upgraded to grade C, or else they can't be rented. This is a huge task for property owners. The positives for tenants is that better EPC ratings means lower energy bills and warmer homes and less damp. For landlords, it improves property value, attracts better tenants, and future-proofs against tougher laws. And for the government, it helps cut carbon emissions and helps them meet their net zero targets. But there are many issues. The government estimates that the average EPC upgrade cost will be £6,500 per property, but for some older buildings, this can be well over £10,000. If owners cannot upgrade to grade C, they have to prove that they have already spent £15,000 trying to do so. Only then can they get an exemption from the rules. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. We publish content every week on UK property investing. Hit the bell and like. It really helps the channel and ensures you're notified when the next video is released. The legal fine for not having the required rating is £30,000. And for tenants, the bad news is that rents will rise as landlord costs will be passed on. On average, the current rent charge on grade E properties is significantly lower than those with grade C. Now, an EPC rating is done by a trained assessor who inspects the property and gives points for each positive feature, depending on how much impact it has on energy efficiency. A new efficient boiler, double glazed windows, loft and cavity wall insulation all carry high points. The points are added up and the final total figure can be between 0 to 100. If the property reaches 39 points, it has a grade E rating, 55 for D, and 69 or more points for a grade C rating. The assessment certificate shows the current rating and also the potential rating after typical upgrades are done. With some buildings, for example, those with poorly insulated flat roofs, or listed buildings where some external upgrades are simply not allowed, it may be very expensive or even impossible to get a grade C. Normally, what owners can do is perform the least costly upgrades to get to 69 points in total and hence get to grade C. But usually those upgrades with the highest points are also the most costly. We can divide the upgrades into 3 categories: low cost, medium cost, and high cost. Relatively low cost things include draft proofing around windows and doors, insulating hot water tanks and pipes, adding radiator controls with thermostats, using energy efficient LED lighting, and switching to a smart meter and smart thermostats. Each of these could give, for example, 1 to 5 points. Upgrades with average costs include proper loft insulation, cavity wall insulation, underfloor insulation, and replacing an old gas boiler with an efficient combi boiler. The most expensive things include double glazing of all the windows, full external or internal wall insulation, air sourced or ground source heat pumps, and solar panel systems. Each of these could give up to 10 or more points. Now, after the work is done, a new EPC certificate is obtained to confirm the improved rating, and this lasts for 10 years. The assessment system itself is also changing from end of 2026, with more emphasis on the fabric performance of the building with its ability to retain heat, and the heating system efficiency and smart readiness of the property. Some think that this new system may make it harder and hence more costly to get a grade C in the future. So what does all this mean for property owners? Active landlords do have an issue, as the cost of using external contractors can be quite high. Whilst rents can be higher in the future, these are significant upfront costs. But passive investors that rent their property to a professional company, such as the sponsor of this video, need not worry. The company acts as the landlord, and all compliance issues and associated costs are their responsibility. All new properties sold by them are already renovated to grade C or upgraded at time of first renovation. For existing almost 3,000 properties, the company has already started a process to upgrade every property to grade C at each tenant change. And this is done by the company's own renovation staff and at no cost to the owner. So well before any deadline, all of their houses will be fully compliant and upgraded to C rating. Please watch their message at the end. Thanks for watching.
If you want to invest in property and get 7% net rent, long-term capital growth, no costs or liabilities ever, do nothing yourself, and be living anywhere in the world, then consider Find UK Property. They provide 100% passive investment solutions for long-term income from freehold properties starting at under 80k. You get a property that is affordable, fully renovated, already rented out, contractually guaranteed and productive from day one. You become the owner and rent it back to Find UK Property, so that they become your tenants and look after all aspects of the property in a fully compliant way. You never need to deal with tenants, estate agents, or do any property maintenance or repairs, or pay for any costs. Find UK Property look after over 2,500 houses, all of which are sublet to their own tenants. And on average, they get more rent from their tenants than they have to pay the property owners, so that way they can cover all the property costs. Their solutions are great for those wanting to retire on pension-type income or gradually build large property portfolios passively in a tax-efficient manner. Please visit the website at findukproperty.com and speak to a consultant today.